What's up, everyone? We are back with the next monotype showcase. So it's been a few weeks. I've promised this type for a long time now, and I'm finally getting around to it. I do apologize. It's been a busy few weeks for recording, and a lot of things have happened in the monotype world, so I kind of wanted to try and get those done. But we are back now with some mono psychic, which is honestly a really, really fun type. It's not one I would necessarily have thought I would have enjoyed too much, but it's just so much tricks and stuff you can do with psychic, and if you can control the battlefield well and make some nice reads, this type can put in some serious work. So really looking forward to playing this today. With that, let's jump right in and discuss the team. So first up, you have Counter Zam. This is an Alakazam I'm quite fond of using. It's very powerful. It's decently strong on the specially offensive side. With 252 special attack, it reaches a very respectable level of special attack, and it's very fast, which is good for my team, as my team in general is quite slow. But on top of that, paired with Magic Guard and Focus Sash, this thing is essentially always going to be able to live on 1 HP, thanks to Magic Guard blocking any indirect damage. So poison, entry hazards, anything like that is completely blocked, which is super nice because this thing essentially has heavy duty boots and sturdy. That level of can swap in on any entry hazards and potentially counter back. So if anyone watches some of my own videos, they've probably seen that strat before. So this basically that again. It doesn't have too much HP, only 251. So at max HP, it's going to do about 500 damage with counter, which is plenty to KO almost every single physical attacker in the tier, regardless. It's super important for things like Dark, maybe like Moxie Heracross or Choice Scarf Buzzwole. Basically, any Choice Scarfers that can otherwise sweep through my team, especially the beast boosting ones. Alakazam can potentially reverse them and counter them, which is very good. Psyshock is just nice for dealing physical damage against specially defensive walls, like maybe Chansey or Blissey. Psyshock can do some decent damage, especially paired with Psychic Training with Tapu Lele and my naturally nice special attack. It can do some good damage. Shadow Ball is there for ghosts because they do unfortunately block counter, and while Psyshock is pretty good, Shadow Ball can be nice for things like maybe Aegislash, who can eat my Psyshocks pretty nicely. And finally we have Taunt, and it's kind of a risky move, but maybe against a setup sweeper move, they're trying to Dragon Dance in my face, or maybe Nasty Plot, Agility, Swords Dance, you name it. Taunt can shut that down and potentially force them into attacking me, in which case I can counter Revenge KO them, which is quite good. Next up we have Slowbro, and Slowbro is going to be my physically defensive pivot on the team. It's kind of a weird Slowbro. I mean, the Scald, Teleport, Slack Off is pretty standard, but I'm actually running Magic Coat, and the reason for that I will explain briefly. So we are going to be max HP, max defense. As I said, it's my physically defensive pivot. With Rocky Helmet, it can easily punish things like U-Turn, which my team really hates, punish basically any physical attackers. A lot of priority Pokemon like maybe Aqua Jet, Bullet Punch, Caesar and stuff can be punished by Slowbro, which is pretty good, thanks to Rocky Helmet. Regen allows this thing to live so much, and it's kind of crazy paired with its brother Slowking Galar. These two can pivot around each other quite nicely, as we'll discuss briefly again. Scald is good for spreading burns, which allows me to be even more physically defensive and shut down potentially things like Swords Dancers or Dragon Dancers, as well as giving my entire team that bit of physical bulk, which is quite good because Psychic in general is a bit more of a specially defensive type. Teleport is really good to kind of come in and eat physical moves and then potentially pivot into something like maybe Alakazam, Tapu Lele if they're slower, Jirachi if I can potentially set up, or Gallade. It's just a generally very good scouting option, as well as generally very good pivot. Slack Off is there for longevity. Regen is already fantastic, but especially in the case of a 1v1 in the end game, Slack Off is super important because regen can be shut down if the rest of my team is dead and I don't have pivot to swap around into. Finally, Magic Coat is good as kind of like an early game anti-lead, so maybe my opponent wants to taunt early game or set up rocks. So unfortunately I have no entry hazards on the team myself and no way of removing them, so the best I can do is try and spam entry hazards on their side of the field, maybe force my opponent into defogging or just to stop them from trying to set up at all. It's also really good for bouncing back things like Toxic against maybe like Hippowdon. Can bounce back Roar, Whirlwind against things like Hippowdon as well, maybe Skarmory. It's just generally quite a decent anti-lead if I can read the Magic Coat nicely. Next up we have Slowking Galar, and Slowking Galar, much like Slowbro, is going to be a pivot, but it's going to be a specially defensive pivot. You've seen this Slowking 100 times before if you watch my videos. If not, I'll explain again anyway because it's super important. With Assault Vest, Slowking Galar reaches a very respectable 525 special defense. honestly, respectable isn't even the word. It's downright amazing special defense. Paired with nice HP and access to regenerator, this thing can swap around on special attacks so frequently. What makes it pretty good is it has Future Sight. So Future Sight allows it to hit Pokemon 2 turns later. So even if it comes in, soaks up a special attack, I can click Future Sight and then pivot around again into maybe like Slowbro or something. If they take out a physical attacker, they have to be wary that a Future Sight is going to come out in a few turns and is 120 base, which is very, very strong because it is stab as well. We have Sludge Bomb, which is good for trying to spread poisons on the team. The 30% chance to poison is quite nice because it allows me to do a bit of extra chip damage because I'm not investing much into special attack. Granted, it's still decently strong, even with no investment, but the extra bit of damage that Sludge Bomb can do with poison is quite nice. We have Ice Beam for dragons, for ground types, flying types. There's just Ice Beam in general is a very good coverage move to have, especially things like Garchomp that might want to swap in on this to try and Earthquake me. They will have to eat an Ice Beam, which is very bad for them. And much the same, Flamethrower is there for steel types like Scizor, Ferrothorn are quite dangerous to my team. This thing in general would otherwise be completely walled out by steel teams with just these three moves, so Flamethrower does give me a bit of an edge against the steel matchup, though it is still quite difficult. Next up we have Choice Scarf Tapu Lele, and Tapu Lele is pretty much my only speed control on the team. The team overall is going to be a little on the slow side, outside maybe like Alakazam. We do need some level of speed because this team otherwise can really lose to like faster Choice Scarf or faster aggressive teams. With max special attack and max speed, it reaches a decent speed tier. Not the best, and it is going to be slower than some Scarfers in the tier, but it should outspeed almost everything naturally, which is quite nice. With Psychic Surge, it will actually block priorities, so Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak, all that kind of stuff isn't going to be an issue for my team, which is very good because they can actually give my team a lot of trouble. Moveset wise, we have Moonblast, which is generally a very good stab, as well as that it tears through the dark typing, which is a very tough matchup for me, thanks to its part fairy typing. It is stab, which means it's going to do a lot of work against dark types. Dragon types as well. Tapu Lele's part fairy can also eat dragon moves like Scale Shot or Clangor Soul Blaze, I think it's called, the Komo OZ move. Stuff like that can like boost the dragon speed and potentially reverse sweep me, so being able to block those moves and stop the speed boost is actually really, really good. We have Psyshock and Psychic, which is a bit strange because Psyshock is a bit weaker, so you might be wondering why do you run two Psychic moves. The main reason is because Psyshock hits physically defensive Pokemon, hits specially defensive Pokemon, hitting their physical defense, which is quite nice because otherwise like a lot of Assault Vest users or just generally specially defensive Pokemon can wall out Lele, so they do have to run the option, they have to run the risk of eating a stab Psyshock that's also boosted by Psychic Surge, which is quite good. Psychic is a bit stronger, and generally I would prefer to click that against Pokemon who aren't especially defensive, because it's just a 10 base stronger. Paired with Stab and Psychic Surge, that does add up quite a lot of damage. And finally a Focus Blast for the dark types in the tier, as well as steel types, because otherwise again they can kind of wall out Tapu Lele quite badly. So Focus Blast, when it hits, can be very good, but it is Focus Blast at the end of the day, not the best, most reliable move. Next up we have Jirachi, and this Jirachi was actually sent to me by my friend Robbie, and this thing is evil. This Jirachi is pure evil when it gets going, but is it so fun. So it is Normalium Z with Happy Hour. It is shiny because we need a shiny Jirachi to run Happy Hour, but a quick tip for me would be I would always run shiny Jirachi, especially in NatDex, because non-shiny Jirachi gives away the information that this definitely isn't Happy Hour, this definitely isn't Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast, I can't remember, is it Moonblast I think it gets? They are both event exclusive moves you can only get with Shiny Jirachi, so even if you're not running those moves, I would always suggest you run Shiny Jirachi regardless, just because Pokemon is a game of information, and you don't want to give your opponent any information you don't have to. So Z Happy Hour actually boosts all our stats to stage, which is very good for stored power. So stored power suddenly becomes 120 base with stab, which is really before stab, which is really good. And with Charge Beam, which is quite nice, it's a 70% chance to raise special attack. Thanks to Serene Grace, that's actually 140%, so it's a guaranteed special attack raise. So that actually makes stored power even stronger. So 20 base stronger, as well as 1.5 times because we are boosting our special attack as well. Finally, we have Iron Head there, which is just kind of nice for flinching out opponents, especially if a stored power wouldn't KO, or maybe I can't get my Happy Hour off, or I'm roared out, or maybe hazed or something. Iron Head can still do some decent work and potentially flinch because it is a 60% chance to flinch thanks to Serene Grace. Stat-wise, we are max speed plus speed nature because we do need that extra speed in the team because my team is quite slow. Max special attack to maximize our damage from stored power and charge beam. Honestly, charge beam, generally speaking, isn't going to do much damage. It's kind of a bit of chip damage, but more importantly, it increases my special attack. And we put 4 points into defense just so my Iron Head, 4 points into attack, just so my Iron Head isn't super weak. And finally we have Mega Gallade. So I was kind of toying between the ideas of Mega Gallade and Mega Alakazam. I ended up on Mega Gallade because I do think it's better for the Steel and Dark matchup, which are quite prevalent. I think for Weather Wars, I do think Mega Alakazam is better. And you can run counter Kadabra, which is something I've been running recently, and it's actually not terrible. With a Mega Alakazam team, I recommend counter Kadabra. I've used it on a Psychic team recently. I hope to show that off eventually, so hopefully you look forward to that. So stat-wise, we are max attack and max speed. This thing is naturally not the fastest. 80 base speed isn't particularly amazing, but when it Mega Evolves, it hits 350 base, which is really good. That's a solid speed stat, being able to outspeed a lot of unboosted opponents, and just generally nice to have. We have bulk up to patch this thing's pretty mediocre defense stat. It's terrible here, but it does get slightly better after Mega Evolving. And especially defensive side, it's naturally quite good anyway, so... And we have Slowking regardless. So with bulk up, we can patch up our mediocre defense and make our attack much stronger. So after Mega Evolving, Gallade gets a ton of attack. We have Drain Punch for longevity. Personally, I kind of prefer it on this build over Close Combat. While Close Combat is that immediate bit of burst damage, it kind of forces me to swap out afterwards because we do lower our defense and special defense, while Drain Punch gives us extra longevity, which is super good for the Steel matchup, for the Rock matchup, or any normal matchup, anything that's weak to fighting. Drain Punch can give Gallade very, very good longevity. We have Knockoff for its generally good team support and quite strong against things like Ghosts in the tier, and just generally other Psychic types to try and knock off their items. A little worse in NatDex because they are running Z Crystals and Mega Stones and stuff, but knockoff is just generally always a pretty nice move to have. And finally, we have Shadow Sneak for priority because, again, the team is quite slow and it's very good for taking care of Ghost teams, especially in the end game. It doesn't pair the best with Tapu Lele, so you do have to be careful your Psychic terrain isn't up when you're trying to Shadow Sneak with Gallade, because otherwise it will get blocked. An important thing to note is I would always go Justified as your ability and base Gallade, especially with Galladeite. It allows you to swap in on knockoffs, eat the knockoff quite nicely because it's part fighting type, it's only neutral damage, and you will get +1 stage in special and physical attack, which is great prior to Mega Evolving because you can then potentially spam your Drain Punch, your knockoffs, that kind of stuff without having to worry too much. So with that, before we jump into some games, I do want to ask you all, what is your favorite Psychic type? For me, I think I would have to say it's Wobbuffet. Kind of a strange choice, but I've really liked Wobbuffet since Generation 2. It's a big gimmick Pokemon, so you don't see it too often, especially when Shadow Tag is banned in a lot of formats. But overall, I've really enjoyed using it back when I could. Not great in main games, just a generally fun gimmick to have, and I really like its design, so... yeah, let me know in the comments down below your favorite Psychic type Pokemon. With that, let's pause there and jump into some games. So we have a game here against Mono Fighting, which is, on paper, a pretty good matchup for me, though I still do have to be wary of things like Breloom. That thing's a menace. If I set up Jirachi, it's super good, but overall, I feel like the best Pokemon in the game are Slowking and Tapu Lele. The two of them kind of go crazy here. I'm going to just let my Gallade get... yeah, I'll let my Gallade get Sport. I feel like if there's anything in this game I don't value too much, it's probably Gallade. Now they're probably going to go here and Bullet Seed, so we'll go into Slowking. If they Mach Punch as well, Slowking should be able to eat it quite nicely. Get a Future Sight off here. Really pressure anything coming in later in the game. Actually, Tapu Lele is really good against things like Medicham as well. Now this Conkeldurr screams knockoff to me. We'll go Gallade. We should be able to eat too. And my Future Sight's coming out pretty soon, so they're not going to like that. I mean, giving me Breloom is excellent for me. Komodo could be a threat if it's sub Belly Drum. They go Buzzwole. Let's go Slowbro and cast our Choice Scarf. We're gonna teleport here. into my Tapu Lele. The fact they stayed in and clicked Darkest Lariat again screams to me their Choice Scarf, so let's go Tapu Lele here and just start blasting that moon. This blocks priority as well, which is fantastic, so there's going to be no fake out from things like Medicham, no Bullet Punch. Tapu Lele is so good. They end up forfeiting. I mean, I'm not too surprised. This is a pretty tough end game for them. Even if they did have something like Medicham to survive at Focus Sash, they still have to get to Rocky Helmet Slowbro, which is very, very bulky for their team. So with that, we're going to pause and be right back. So we have a game here against Mono Steel, which is a pretty tough game for me, all things considered. Scizor and Bisharp are very scary. I don't particularly like trying to kill Bronzong either. We're going to open Slowbro. In case they're spike stacking, I would rather Magic Coat this all back immediately. And if they're dual screens... Okay, they're T-Wave. I feel like they're going to be T-Wave dual screens. Let's keep Magic Coating. Just in case they are spikes. They are spikes. Perfect. I mean, if you want to give me layers of spikes down, I will happily take it. It's going to be hard to predict when exactly to do it. You know what? I'm just going to get 3 layers down. Or attempt to. We'll scald once. Here. That hit 30%. That's quite a lot. Unfortunately, they are leftovers. They're getting paralyzed so much. Okay, they're defog. I'm not sure if I'm able to KO this. Honestly, having this thing paralyzed is pretty good for me. And if I can get even 1 layer of spikes down, I'm quite happy. Ah, very well played. It seems like they're just going to go on the offensive here. No, they got a layer down. That's bad for me. And they're probably not going to get greedy and try to get a second layer down, that's for sure. Oh no, they actually did. That's quite bad for me. I ideally wanted to get a few layers down on their side. Taking care of their Klefki is still pretty good for me, regardless. This is Z Happy Hour, isn't it? Haha. My own evil used against me. I deserved nothing less, I suppose. I realistically don't think I have much to deal with this. I mean, Flamethrower is not going to do too much. And depending on their moveset, they're actually quite threatening against me. I mean, Flamethrower's not terrible. It's doing more than I would have suspected. I value Glade too much here. I think I'm okay to sack Slowking. They have no special attackers left, save for maybe Bronzong and maybe Cobalion, but they're not even exactly like strong special attackers either. So Glade is actually very good here in the end game. Now Scizor is a threat. I cannot deny that. Bronzong comes in. I have no idea what Bronzong does, so I'm going to go into Tapu Lele here in case they explode on me. Or they toxic. Let's go Jirachi. That is a surprising amount, considering it's not very effective. I suppose it is max damage. Ah, that's doing way too much to me. That's very unfortunate. Please be a high roll. No, I'm dead. I feel like that's going to be game. We have to counter here. But there's nothing stopping them from taking out Bisharp right now and just winning the game, I feel. Or even Scizor. We'll go Lele, just to try and block priority here. We might be able to somehow pull it out. We're going to have to Focus Blast. Any bit of damage here is very good for me. Ooh, I did a lot. I mean, my Psychic Terrain is still up. Nice. I wonder, can Glade actually pull through? So if I bulk up here, a bulk up into Drain Punch might actually pull the game out. Wrong button. Ah, that makes sense. There's surely Sash, right? No. Interesting. So this endgame became winnable? Not guaranteed, but winnable. We'll Drain Punch here. That did so much. Okay. That's the game. GG. Sorry for the misclick, that really sucks. But overall, we somehow managed to pull that one through. And we're going to pause and be right back. So we have a game against Mono Poison, and on paper this is a pretty easy matchup, but honestly with things like Slowking Galar, Alolan Muck, and Beedrill, this can actually be quite a tough matchup, so we have to be very carefully around Muck because it can Pursuit Trap us and easily take care of one of our Pokemon, which we don't like, so let's try to open up a Slowbro here. They open up Slowking. I'll just teleport out. If they poison me there, that would be quite bad for me. But I'm going to try and actually get a Z-Celebrate here. It'd be very good if I get this up, because it does threaten their team quite a bit. Now, they're probably Flamethrower. It doesn't do too much. If we get 1 or 2 Iron Head flinches, it puts us in quite a good position here. One more would be excellent, because we should actually threaten their team a lot with this. Is this Choice Scarf Crobat? I mean, I feel like it won't KO even if it was. Muck is still quite a threat. It could knock off, it could Shadow Sneak, which does a bit of damage, but any damage I can get off on Muck is excellent for me. It's really good for things like Tapu Lele and Gallade. So they probably just, they have a Shadow Sneak here, so what I'm going to do is actually go into Slowbro and try punish them with Rocky Helmet Chip. They get the Poison Touch, unfortunately, which kind of sucks for us. I will teleport out here. This isn't the worst position. Honestly, getting damage on Muck is very, very good for me. I'm going to save my Alakazam, I think, for Beedrill. Now, Slowking is still a threat, I'm not going to lie. My answer to Slowking is definitely Gallade. I guess if I keep my Lele healthy, yeah, I think I go Alakazam here. And I try and counter. This thing being dead is so important for me. They go into Slowking, great play. We can get my Slowking in here. Now, unfortunately, this does open me up for a Pursuit Trap. So what I'm going to do here is risk... Actually, I don't have to risk anything. I can go to Jirachi. Ooh, very nice. But I can knock off here with my Gallade, which is the position I need to get rid of Slowking. The Nidos are threatening. I guess Slowking is still quite good here. They're very clever to keep Muck alive or healthy. We'll Drain Punch. I think that might have actually been a throw, because now my Choice Scarf Lele should be able to take care of the rest of their team quite nicely. Unless, of course, they have, like, Focus Sessions, and that's Choice Scarf. Not anymore, but it was Choice Scarf. That's interesting. We'll just knock into Knock again. Now, obviously, I'm going to be outsped by Beedrill, but Beedrill goes down to Tapu Lele nicely. As well as that, we have Sash Alakazam in the back, so we'll just Shadow Sneak here for a bit of chip, as they probably fell Stinger. So ordinarily that would be a threat, but Lele should just win the game here, I think, with Psychic. Even on the off chance they're like Focus Sash Nidoking, it won't be able to OHKO Slowking. If they're special and if they're physical, Counter Zam can win anyway. GG to my opponent. Definitely a tough game for Poison, though I think if they didn't sack Muck, it means I couldn't have just clicked Psychic over and over again with Tapu Lele, and they could potentially Pursuit Trap me, which is really dangerous for my team. So with that, we're going to pause and be right back. So we have a game here against Mono Ground. This can be... It can be quite a tough matchup. There's a lot of like knockoff spam and generally strong physical attackers on the type, so I do have to be quite careful. I think Gallade, if I bulk up, can be quite nice here. Unfortunately, Jirachi is going to be very hard to set up with. Let's open Slowbro. They open up Lando, then they might just go straight for a Stealth Rock. I'll Magic Coat. They just go straight knock off. That makes sense too. I feel like it was either or. We'll slack off once. As they're taking Hippo down. Now, I definitely fear a Toxic or Stealth Rock coming out here, so I'm going to Magic Coat this. I know rocks don't necessarily do much to their team. I think I hate rocks more than they hate rocks, but it's something nonetheless. A burn would be very nice here. We didn't get the burn, unfortunately. But what I can kind of do is spam Magic Coat as they go into Gastrodon. I definitely have to keep Slowbro healthy for the likes of Exga and Garchomp. That didn't do too much, and I can probably get a Future Sight off here. Hippo comes in, and they do outspeed. If they give me Hippo, that's actually really big. Because then their Exga can't abuse Sand Rushes easily. Well, Ice Beam once more time. I mean, giving me damage at Exga is quite nice. As well as that, it potentially lets me scout to see what item they are. We go Slowbro. If they SD, it's very bad for me. That is banded. That is most certainly banded. That is so much damage. We'll sack Jirachi here. I don't think it has much value in the late game. And here we can probably get in Gallade and just click Knockoff. It should take care of Hippo. Oh, no. We just missed out on the kill, unfortunately. Now, part of me wants to bulk up in their face. Is it a bad play? Exga's coming out after this. I think if I bulk up once... They're Toxic. Great play. Is our last move... I have to Drain Punch here. Now, thanks to Inner Focus, I don't think they can intimidate me with their Landorus. As expected, Exga comes in. We'll sneak. It just misses out on the KO, unfortunately. That's pretty bad for me. What we can do, though, is go into Slowbro and slack off here. Into Teleport. Because at this percentage, Alakazam guarantees outspeeds. Actually, so does my Tapu Lele, which is quite good. And Moonblast is looking better and better. Do I want a Psyshock here? It's probably specially defensive Gastrodon, so I will Psyshock. Although my Slowking can probably almost always come in on this. We'll try, bro. Yeah, if they knock off, we do live, but not very well. I think I value this. Let's go Lele here. As they go to Gastrodon. Okay, interesting play. They should let me get in my Slowking nicely enough. And click Future Sight. Now, I'm not 100% sure how the interaction works. If I click Future Sight here, does it work if I reset my terrain? If anyone knows, let me know in the comments down below how that interaction works, because I really don't know. This thing's a threat. For sure. I think I want to slack off once. They might SD. They U-turn. Okay, this is great for me, actually. This is the best possible play, because I think Future Sight might actually KO the Landorus. Nice. So that's probably the best outcome for me. This could be SG. Oh, they're Toxic. That's bad for me. Do they roost? We'll teleport. Into Lele, I think. The Garchomp's a huge threat. We just missed out on the KO as well. Unfortunate. Though this does let me get up Future Sight again with Slowking, I'm pretty sure Gastrodon realistically can't do much to Slowking as long as I can regen constantly. Excellent. Pretty good for me, because I can try Sludge Bomb Poison here. Nice. And the Future Sight's going to come out and do some big damage soon. Will Ice Beam on the off chance they go into gas to Garchomp? I don't think it was ever the play. Okay, so this is a weird play right now. This kind of forces them to have to... They have to Earthquake me, right? They... Swords Dance. And they lived. The question is, does Slowbro live an Earthquake from Garchomp? And I feel like it does. It has to Scale Shot here to win, so we go Lele. This is actually my game. Yeah, they had to Scale Shot to get the plus speed to outspeed Alakazam or Scarf Lele. GG. That was a pretty tough game, though. I think we managed to pull through there in the end. The Garchomp was a massive threat. I'm honestly surprised it lived the Ice Beam. And the crit here, I think, on the Gastrodon might have hurt a small bit, because if Future Sight didn't KO, it would allow me to get up another Future Sight, potentially threatening Garchomp in the end game. It worked out in the end for me regardless. And with that, we're going to pause and be right back. So we have a game here against Mono Grass. Now, Mono Grass can actually be quite a big threat because they really do threaten my Slowbro. Things like Rillaboom are scary for me. Breloom can be kind of annoying too with Spore. I think if I set up my Jirachi, it's quite good in the late game, and Slowking is very good here too, so let's open up Alakazam. As they open up with their Breloom. I want to side-check this immediately, to be honest. Now, Pharaoh's spike stacking is really, really bad for my team. I guess I'm okay with this being spored. It's going to spore me for sure. Oh, they Bullet Seed. Interesting. I can get in Lele here and click Focus Blast, I think. It catches Ferrothorn if they decide to swap into that. Which would be really good for me to get damage on. Excellent. Ahaha. But Focus Miss is the worst move in the game. That's very unfortunate. Oh my god. We'll get in Slowking. And click Future Sight here. I really, really despise that move. Are they going to Toxic here? I think this is my chance to set up Jirachi. Yeah, I think I've set up Jirachi here. And the Future Sight's going to come out now and kill this while I get my boost, so that's pretty good for me. Honestly, Ferrothorn is still a threat to me. Future Sight might do like a small bit of damage, but they can easily stall me out here with Protect. 36% is okay. It's not great because they're gonna Protect here. They're actually gonna get back way too much health for me to realistically do anything. It really sucks that I missed. Really, really sucks that I missed my Focus Blast, because that potentially would have put it in range of actually KOing, which would have been very good for me. They might Encore here. We'll Shadow Sneak. Oh, they're faster. My bad. I'm so disappointed I missed. That's so bad for me. I guess we just Psychic here. Z Memento? Twinkle Tackle. Wow, interesting. That's a really cool... That's honestly a very cool Whimsicott. Unfortunately, I think the game is as good as over for me. Yeah, it's Storm Drain. We can Magic Coat here, maybe like a Toxic back at it, but... I mean, it's realistically not going to do anything. Very disappointing to see this is how the game worked out. I'm not saying I would have won had I landed Focus Blast, but it would have put Ferrothorn in a much more awkward position for them. Obviously, Whimsicott comes out here. That did a surprising amount, and they're probably going to play rough, so let's go Jirachi. Ah, they're Moonblast. I mean, they just go Ferrothorn here every time. There's no reason not to. We can sack this, though. We'll go Gallade. I think... Do we bulk up here once? I'll try bulk up once. They go in straight to Whimsicott. Good play. So unfortunately, I think that's game for me. We'll Flamethrower, just in case they go in Ferrothorn. It makes sense to go into this. Yeah, I think the game... I don't see an endgame I can win this. Whimsicott shuts down my Gallade too much, unfortunately. I can't deny my opponent played very well. I'm just salty over all those Focus Blast Mists. Because honestly, I don't think I can break Venusaur here. At all. We have to Drain Punch just for a small bit of chip. The other thing walls me out pretty badly. Even with Future Sight. Like, theoretically, I can keep getting HP back, or never mind, I can't. If we bulk up, yeah, they stay in. And they Sludge Bomb. Okay. I mean, it doesn't do anything because they just take in Rillaboom and win anyway. Unfortunately. GG. Well played my opponent's part. They played that very well. And with that, we're going to pause and be right back. So we have a game against Mono Dark. In this game, Gallade is pretty good. Alakazam can do a surprising amount. Lele is amazing once I take care of this extremely threatening bottom row right here. And Jirachi can put in work. I think we're going to open up with Slowbro here. They open up Drapion. I'll Scald. I don't particularly care Toxic Spikes because I do have Slowking. And Slowking is more or less useless in this game. Now, I have to worry about Pursuit Trap Muck. Will Scald please burn once? It's been very bad for burns lately. Part of me wants to get cheeky here and go Gallade and get the justified boost from Knockoff because I can Drain Punch back all the HP afterwards. Oh, they actually T-Spikes. Interesting. We'll Drain Punch here. That doesn't kill? That's kind of surprising. That thing is quite bulky. Either way, we Drain Punch again. Hydreigon's a threat. With T-Spikes, I can always go into Mach to absorb them. So it's not the... into a Slowking to absorb them, so it's not the end of the world. Now, I don't particularly want this thing getting Pursuit Trapped. They go into Weavile. I Drain Punch this. Even if they, like, Icicle Crash, I don't think it KOs. And Drain Punch gets up a big chunk of HP. Large HP right there. This thing's a threat. I think I go Slowking here. Absorb the spikes. I'm okay with being KO'd, I think. We'll go Slowbro just in case they don't Pursuit. I mean, Pursuit obviously was always the play there. We'll go Zam. We'll try counter. If they read that and go Hydreigon, excellent play. That's a really good play. We'll Taunt. Just in case they're like sub-nasty plot, I do not want to deal with that. They might fear Focus Blast. That's Specs. No, it's Life Orb. Okay. I guess this is okay with me. We'll just Shadow Ball for a bit of chip. And it lets me get in my Gallade. Yeah, I can get Gallade here. I'll just Drain Punch. These two things are a threat to my Tapu Lele. Unfortunately so. Okay, they're taking Muck. Let's try Bulk Up once. As long as they don't poison me. which they did, unfortunately. Either way, Drain Punch is still really good here. Because this thing has so much health, I'm going to be draining a lot back. And I actually might be in range right now where I live one Sucker Punch from Bisharp. Which would be excellent for me. I'm not really sure what Morpeko does. They actually end up forfeiting. Okay, that's surprising. I guess +1 Gallade with Drain Punch is extremely threatening to them. And with that, we're going to pause and be right back. So we have a game here against Mono Steel. Now this is a very tough matchup for me. Celesteela is a pain, as it always is. Melmetal is crazy strong, as well as Scizor and Bisharp. So, in general, just a very tough matchup. Let's try our best. I do think Gallade's very good here. We go Slowking straight up. I did want this thing Toxic in me, just in case. We'll Future Sight, though, unfortunately, realistically, I can do nothing against this. That's doing 0. We did manage to freeze, which is quite nice. But they can just click Magma Storm here, I think, and thaw themselves out. I guess realistically I don't need Slowking much in this game. So I'm more or less okay if this faints. The Ice Beam was crazy lucky. Not that it had a huge effect in the end game, in the end. Now I have to go Gallade here. The question is, if I bulk up, do they Magma Storm into Protect? The answer, probably yes. They go into Steela. Interesting. So we're gonna knock this thing off. It could be a Totemize. Power Herb. It's Z Crystal's Supersonic Sky Strike. And that's probably the game. Losing Gallade that early is the game for me. Unfortunately, if they weren't Z Crystal, that actually might have KO'd. Which would have been very good for me. I guess technically I could try set up my Jirachi. But unless I play around Bisharp like crazy hard, they just win with a Sucker Punch against me. Oh, they're Flamethrower. Yikes. They go Melmetal. Okay. I guess we could just go for, like, flinches here. It's a really risky play. But I don't have much of a choice, because Stored Power is not going to KO. What's Stored Power once here? Yeah, I did 40. That did nothing. Maybe if Focus Blast hits every single time, without fail, it literally missed the first time. This is genuinely the worst move in the game. I hate it so much. Another game where Focus Blast has let me down. We didn't even get the Scald Burn, which sucks. I mean, I'm pretty sure we just lose the Heatran straight up right now. I can counter this, but realistically, it doesn't do anything. I wish there was, like, a good fighting move that didn't have 0% accuracy. I mean, maybe it's, like, no dark move Bisharp for some reason. And this super crits and KOs. GG. Unfortunate. Again, there's no guarantee I honestly would have won even if I did land the Focus Blast. I mean, Bisharp and Scizor are still quite tough for my team. Though honestly, I could have probably saved them for later in the game. So, it's hard to say. And with that, we're going to pause and be right back. So, we have a game here against Mono Rock. This can be a tough game. Things like Tyranitar are honestly very scary for my team. I think they might open up with Deontay, so we're going to try open up here with Slowbro and try Magikarp their Stealth Rock back turn 1. I guess I do value them being Stealth Rocked. They go into T-Tar. Good play there. I'll Scald here. Ooh, very good play. No burn, unfortunately. We'll teleport. I honestly thought maybe they'd Pursuit Trap me here. I think I still value Scald, even if they go into Cradilly. Because I can always go into something like Slowking on this. Now, if they double into Cheetar and Pursuit Trap me, that's an excellent play. Okay, that thing is scary. I need to poison this thing as soon as possible. Please poison. Please be poisoned. Please be poisoned. Because that thing is going to really hurt my team. Actually, Jirachi is really good in this game too. If I can get it set up, that is. Which is easier said than done. I would truly value a poison right now, game. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Great play going to Staka here. We go slow, bro. It should be able to live whatever Staka throws my way quite nicely. And we'll just teleport. If they hit me, it's not going to do much. I can always go back into Slowbro pretty much time and time again. I kind of want to Scald. But I think teleporting is the play, just in case they go back into their Cradilly. I can get in my Gallade and potentially knock, or even Drain Punch something. I'll teleport here. We know for a fact they're not Z Crystal because they're Air Balloon. They go into their Cradilly, which is nice because I can get in Gallade here. I think I value Drain Punch in here. Diancie the threat. I'm not going to lie. But do they risk Mega Evolve in here? Let's go slow, bro. And teleport. If they go for Moonblast, great play. They didn't Mega Evolve, which is an excellent play on their part. If they Mega Evolved, they risk actually going for a speed tie against my Gallade, as we're both 350 speeds. And under Trick Room, they guaranteed outspeed if they didn't Mega Evolve. That does so much damage, though. I'm going to go into Slowking, and they're probably going to Diamond Storm. They're clearly a very competent player. Now, I expect a Diamond Storm to come out here. The question is, do they Mega Evolve first? I guess I don't value Slowking too much. Let's Future Sight. They Earth Power. Okay, this screams to me they're actually especially offensive. Diancie. We'll go Slowbro once. It's kind of a risk. No, that risk paid off quite nicely, so we can go into Slowking here. Actually, do they go T-Tar? I think I still go Slowking, even if they go T-Tar. Oh, it didn't kill. It does put them in range of Shadow Sneak, which is honestly very important for me. I think I value that so much, and I could even get an Alakazam here, technically. Do I want to keep Zam for something like Lycanroc? It's probably Sandrush. I could go Gallade and Shadow Sneak. Yeah, I think that's the play. Hopefully I don't regret sacking my Slowking for something like Nihilego, as that could actually be quite a threat right now. If they give me this, it's pretty nice. This is probably one of the biggest factors stopping my Jirachi from going crazy right now. They go T-Tar. Makes sense. I'll Drain Punch. Why I think that makes sense is they want to potentially get in Sandrush, Lycanroc, and Revenge KO this afterwards. So the question is, will it even KO my Gallade? Very good play of my opponent's part. Are they trying to get in? Yeah, they're getting Lycanroc. Can this KO? Let's go Slowbro, sorry, and Scout. What they want to do? Play rough. Yes, that was 100% going to KO me. It's Life Orb. Interesting. I guess we'll slack here. They miss Play Rough, it's pretty bad for them. I'm not gonna lie. That really benefits me because I can teleport here. Into... I guess I go Jirachi. I don't think Nihilego can realistically one-hit KO this. And I can see Happy Hour. Now, of course, they can always drill run me with Lycanroc afterwards. So this isn't an instant 6-0. Lycanroc is still quite dangerous for me. They go into T-Tar. We just Iron Head spam. Yeah, they're gonna go Lycanroc and Drill Run afterwards, I think. I guess... Oh, they roared. Great play. They might taunt here. What's called? Go Cradily. Great play. I'll teleport. I think I valued keeping Jirachi regardless. I wouldn't sack it against Lycanroc because I still think Iron Head's really good in late game. Ooh, that was strong. I go Jirachi here. I guess I can just start spamming Iron Head. I know obviously my Z Happy Hour ran out, which sucks. But it doesn't make Jirachi necessarily terrible here. Unless, of course, it just doesn't want to get any Iron Head flinches. That's pretty bad for me. We'll Iron Head here once more. I can't let this thing set up too many stockpiles. It's very bad for me. Oh my god. That is scary. I guess we go Zam. And try taunt this. I'm not sure what his last move is. I guess we sack Zam. Unfortunate to have to do that. I really need some Iron Head flinches here quite badly. Quite badly. This honestly puts me in a very bad position. I don't think Gallade can do enough in the endgame unless I can get up a bulk up, which is, of course, easier said than done. Okay, they give me T-Tar at least. That's quite nice. Now, I think I sack Slowbro to Lycanroc and hope Gallade can beat Stakataka, maybe? Is that a terrible play? Okay, they go into Stakataka here. I go Slowbro and try get some regen. Yeah, I think this has to be the play here. Do I sack Lele? That's the question. Or do I sack Jirachi? Huh. I think I sack Lele because I think I still value Jirachi for Nihilego. Now they might Gyro Ball here actually. Let's go Slowbro one more time. That did a lot actually. More than I expected. A lot more than I expected. So they're gonna get their beast boost here. Which sucks for me. But I can teleport. Yeah, I teleport here. The question remains, does Gallade 1-hit KO Stakataka? It's 4x effective with stab, so I'd like to think yes it does. Especially after that damage, I think it will. That might be the key I needed. Because we Drain Punch here. They're very clever to keep that alive. So obviously Lycanroc comes in here. I think I have to chip it with Slowbro. So Rocky Helmet, chip into Life Orb, into Rocky Helmet, chip, Life Orb. I think it puts me in the position where Shadow Sneak kills this. For sure. The question is, does Nihilego kill me? And Drain Punch should take care of these two threats. I think. But Nihilego is a big threat to my team. I'm not gonna lie. Gallade is naturally decently high special defense. So unless it's Dazzling Gleam, I might just live one. I guess I knock. Their Power Herb? Yeah. Okay. Drain Punch should KO this. And now the question comes back to, does Stack Attack and die to Drain Punch? If not, can I get off enough? I'll Drain Punch here. Yeah, they have to Seed. And I can just spam Drain Punch over and over again. Oh. Yeah, Drain Punch into Shadow Sneak would have killed. GG. That was a really, really tough game. Very well played by my opponent. That was a really, really good game. And with that, we're going to pause and be right back. So we ended up number 18 on the ladder, which is pretty good for a type I really didn't think would do that well. I was kind of playing it for some fun, and it was just a type I've been working on, but I really didn't expect it to do this well as it, so I'm pretty happy to see that. And with that, let's pause here and jump and discuss my final thoughts on the team. So that is going to be it from Mono's Psychic for today. Overall, it was actually a very fun type to use, something I really wasn't expecting to do that well in. I originally built a Mega Alakazam with Counter Kadabra team, which honestly probably sounds funner when I say it out loud like that, but I found Mega Gallade just much more practical because of the abundance of Steel, normal types I was fighting. Even Dark types Gallade helps so much, and those are types that I was really struggling with Counter Kadabra and Mega Alakazam. That said, Mega Alakazam definitely did better with weather teams. Its traceability, copying things like Swift Swim, Sand Rush, could absolutely demolish so many weather teams, but overall, I think I could still deal with those just about well enough with Mega Gallade, but the drawback of not being able to deal with normal and dark was just very bad for my team overall. So if you did enjoy, definitely let me know down below in the comments. I really appreciate those. They go a long way. Even leaving a like, sharing this with a friend, I really, really appreciate that. It goes such a long way, especially as a small creator. And I do apologize it took so long to take this video out. As I said earlier, I just had a lot of other video planned, kind of unplanned, that just happened to come out and the timing didn't work out. So I'm glad to finally have this type done. I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. And hopefully next week I will have another type out, maybe Ice. There's a bit of a spoiler for you just because of the season that's in it. And I look forward to doing that. And I'll catch you next time, everyone. Take care.